Silence makes many people uneasy. When a conversation pauses, someone rushes to fill the gap. When a room grows quiet, phones come out. When a car ride has no music, tension rises. We are used to noise. Noise reassures us. Noise distracts us. Noise keeps thoughts from getting too loud. But there are some people who don't react that way. They can sit in silence without discomfort. They don't interpret pauses as awkward. They don't feel pressure to fill every space with sound. This video explores the psychology of people who are comfortable with silence, and what that reveals about emotional regulation, attention, and inner security. Silence removes distraction. Without background noise, thoughts become clearer. Emotions become more noticeable. For many people, this can feel overwhelming. Silence amplifies whatever is happening internally. But individuals who are comfortable with silence tend to tolerate that amplification. They don't rush to escape their own thoughts. They don't immediately label quiet as boredom or discomfort. Instead, they allow the inner world to unfold. Psychologically, this reflects a higher tolerance for internal awareness. Silence isn't threatening to them, it's informative. Silence can intensify emotion. Anxiety feels louder without distraction. Restlessness becomes more obvious. Uncertainty becomes harder to ignore. People who are uncomfortable with silence often try to regulate themselves externally through noise, conversation, or constant input. But those who are comfortable with silence tend to regulate internally. They can notice a feeling without reacting immediately. They can sit with mild discomfort without needing to dissolve it in stimulation. This ability reflects nervous system steadiness. Their body doesn't interpret quiet as danger. It interprets it as neutral. And neutrality creates psychological balance. Comfort with silence often reflects something deeper: internal security. Some people fear silence in relationships because they interpret it as rejection. If no one is speaking, something must be wrong. If there is a pause, connection must be fading. But those who are comfortable with silence don't carry that assumption. They don't equate quiet with distance. They can share space without constant reassurance. They are not threatened by pauses. In fact, silence in their presence often feels natural. This reflects a secure attachment, not only to others, but to themselves. They are not dependent on constant validation to feel stable. People who tolerate silence often prefer depth over speed. They listen fully before responding. They think before speaking. They allow conversations to breathe. Silence creates room for nuance. When no one rushes to fill a gap, something more thoughtful can emerge. These individuals are often attentive observers. They notice tone shifts, micro-expressions, subtle changes in energy. Silence for them isn't empty, it's spacious, and spaciousness allows depth. Many social interactions involve performance, keeping energy high, avoiding awkward pauses, maintaining conversation momentum. For some people, this is exhausting, but individuals who are comfortable with silence don't experience every pause as failure. They don't feel responsible for entertaining the room. They don't interpret stillness as social breakdown. This reduces pressure, and reduced pressure reduces fatigue. They can engage socially without constantly managing the atmosphere. That's why silence doesn't drain them. It restores them. In many cultures, silence is uncomfortable. We equate talkativeness with warmth, noise with vitality, constant interaction with connection. So people who are quiet or comfortable in silence are sometimes misread as bored, as disengaged, as distant. But comfort with silence is rarely about emptiness. It's often about steadiness. Their mind is not vacant. It is simply not anxious. They are not withdrawn. They are regulated. In a world that constantly fills space with sound, silence can feel rare. But silence is not absence. It is presence without pressure. Some people need constant sound to feel connected. Others connect most deeply in quiet. Being comfortable with silence doesn't mean lacking energy. It means not fearing stillness. And sometimes the ability to sit calmly in silence is not a social weakness. It's emotional strength.